Hello and welcome to the Nottingham Hockey Centre, the home of the famous Beeston Hockey Club. It's double bubble today for the club as they face the visitors from Sussex, East Grinstead, who bring both their women's and men's first team squads here to attempt to cement strong league positions against a genuinely close rival in all but geography. So, ladies first, of course. Beeston lost 0-3 last week to Clifton, and that saw them lose ground and league position. That makes today's match with third place East Grinstead absolutely crucial. East Grinstead had a solid 2-0 victory last weekend over Buckingham, and with Surbiton and Holcombe now 6 points clear of East Grinstead and 10 clear of Beeston, a top 4 place is still well worth scrapping for. So a blustery day here in Beeston. Besides, out there on the pitch you can see the flags in the near distance there blowing stiffly away from the flagpoles. But I think the weather is improving. There's enough blue sky overhead to make a sailor suit at least. So we're expecting a fast, entertaining game between two sides who know exactly how much is at stake.
When you succeed,
we succeed.
So we listen.
We tailor. And we invest in you.
We are innovators.
We deliver resorts.
And world-class service.
We are always developing.
Learning and growing.
And getting better at what we do.
Supporting your business.
We make technology effortless.
And more than just a means to an end.
We're the team who serve.
And advise you.
All to help you achieve.
And surpass your goals.
We're super.
We're honest.
And go the extra mile.
We're winners.
And team players.
And together,
we're the managed service provider.
We're Air IT.
We're Air IT.
We're Air IT.
You're number one for IT and comms.
So what advice might you give to another parent who has a child that plays hockey or a different sport?
It's always to be supportive. At the end of the day, they're doing it for themselves. They're doing it because they want to do it. Now, there might be the odd time when something hasn't gone well, and the important thing is to stick with something. Never just give up on it because the going's hard at the moment.
I don't know if you remember this. I came out of one of my reviews and was pretty upset, and I FaceTimed you and Dad, and I remember being quite emotional because I thought I'd let you down, and you and Dad just said to me that I wasn't doing this for you two. I wasn't doing it just to make you guys happy.
Absolutely. It's most definitely your life, and whilst we're very proud of you, you're doing it for, for your own enjoyment, for your own work. You're not doing it for us at all.
When we're younger, often as kids, we don't realise how much effort you put in. I definitely wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you and Dad and the rest of the family, so thank you.
played at the highest level for Holland since I was 17. First you start as a talented little girl and just go and play, and now you really have to carry the team. A lot of the media, they always write things about you, but it's not important. I know what I can do, and the people that I really care about, they always believe in me. And I've always been a fighter. Even when you think you can't go anymore, you just keep on going because of your team. My position in the field is important, but without the others, I'm a no one. Speed is very important. There isn't room for error, actually. It's just me, opponents, and my teammates. You have to give it your all, no mercy. Every competition we play, you just want to win. When you step on the podium, it's just the best feeling in the world. It is hard to dare and dream about winning, but we know if we play well, we can beat anyone.
Far side, all good officials on the far side, everything switched on over there. So welcome back to Beeston, where the teams continue to go through their pre-match routines here, ahead of what should be an outstanding game of women's hockey in this Investec Women's Hockey Premier League. Beeston will be playing in their black strip today against their visitors, and it's been a long trip for East Grinstead to be here for a game that really does count at the top of the table. Two sides that are full of quality. A chance for us to train our cameras also on the league's top scorer, Sophie Bray, who will be leading the line for East Grinstead. Player who announced her international retirement recently, but still very much at home playing her club hockey at East Grinstead. So the weather definitely improving from the early rain of this morning. Let's hope it stays that way and can bring the best out of these two sides. There's a little look for you at the current state of play in the Investec Women's Premier Division. Surbiton and Holcombe sitting pretty at the moment with that cushion now over third-placed East Grinstead. Clifton Robinsons, who beat Beeston last week, have leapfrogged them in the table and now sit in fourth place. Buckingham and Beeston, you see, tucked in, and Bowden Hightown certainly not out of the equation either. Down at the bottom of the table, Canterbury struggling for form and points, just below Slough. And the University of Birmingham, somewhat surprisingly, find themselves also in what can be described as a relegation dogfight down there. They need to start picking up some points as well. So you can see from the table the importance of today's game. 3 points for Beeston, for example, would push them up to within a point of East Grinstead, and put pressure on Buckingham and Clifton Robinson, who are also involved in that real scrap there for position in a very tight and competitive season of women's league hockey. A reminder that after this game gets underway at high noon. The men's game follows, the 2 o'clock start for that one, and it's the same fixture, Beeston against East Grinstead, of course. So a full day of hockey entertainment for you, whether you're watching at home or will be watching it here at Beeston, the Nottingham Hockey Centre live. Beeston's goalkeeper getting a thorough warm-up, so important, of course. Goalkeepers get a good sight of the ball. Very shortly we'll be having the two sides led out by our two match umpires, and I can give you their names right now. The two match umpires today are Jill Lord and Hannah Harrison. So I'm sure they will have been excited to have been appointed to this particular game between two of the league's really top outfits.
Okay, Joe, less than 1 minute to walk out, please. Thank you.
When you succeed.
We succeed.
So, we listen.
We tailor. And we invest in you.
We are innovators.
We deliver results.
And world-class service.
We are always developing you.
Learning and growing.
And getting better at what we do.
Supporting your business.
We make technology effortless.
And more than just a means to an end.
We're the team who serve.
And advise you.
All to help you achieve.
And surpass your goals.
We're super.
We're honest.
And go the extra mile.
We're winners.
And team players.
And together,
We're the managed service provider.
We're Air IT.
we're Air IT.
we're Air IT.
You're number one for IT and comms.
And so here we are back at the Nottingham Hockey Centre, the two sides about to come out to the applause of the crowd. So it's time for you to put your television lunch to one side and park that cup of coffee on the drink mat and put your hands together for Beeston ladies and East Grinstead ladies. Here they come, led out by the two match umpires, Jill Lord there with the peak cap and the somewhat taller Hannah Harrison alongside her.
Please welcome your visitors, East Grinstead, and let's hear it for the hosts, your Beeston Hockey Club!
Andy Day, the PA announcer today, as usual, has got a good handle on things here at the club. Announces the arrival of the two teams, Beeston there, some tall girls in that Beeston side. And walking now across the line, shaking hands with East Grinstead, some familiar faces. No doubt, some old rivalries, some scores to be settled. But today is all about getting a result. Neither side can really afford to lose this one. They won't want to drop any further behind those top two.
9, sponsored by Hunter Lane. Lauren Burrell. 10, sponsored by Inchcape. Sophie Robinson. 11, sponsored by Medical Investments. Captain Bex Walker. 12, sponsored by Medical Investments, Serena Barr. 13, sponsored by Building Properties Limited, Rosie Stevens. 14, sponsored by the Manor House at Quorn, Charlotte Triggs. 15, Bridget Kiddle. 20, sponsored by Sphere 8, Eloise Stenner. 21, Nina Apuma. 30, sponsored by Royal Progress, Paige Gillett. At 31, sponsored by Ross Insurance Group, Lottie Ross. Today's visitors, East Grinstead. 6, Bridget Blackwood. 7, Lucy Holder. 8, Pip Long. 9, Zoe Burrell. 10, Laura Unsworth. 11, Kathy Nicholson. 13, Georgie Blackwood. 14, Ruth Gordon. 16, Chloe Parler. 17, Chloe Brown. 18, Captain Josephine Blunt.
So Beeston will have the first use of the ball here. Poised over the top of it there is Rosie Stevens. Where's the number 13 shirt, made so popular as centre forwards by Sean Curley, of course, all those years ago. Certainly didn't prove to be an unlucky shirt for him, and let's hope it's not unlucky for Rosie today, who will want to get back amongst the goals. First free hit of the game goes to the home team here, Beeston. Stenner rolls it back. And it's just swept out to that left-hand side. Nice turn. Possession kept well by Beeston. They're working the ball very well here. Out to this right-hand side now. Turning inside. A little bit heavy with the touch. Well, as you might expect with the Bees, they're swarming around at the moment. Really quick start from them. Possibly hoping to catch East Grinstead still a little bit with the journey in their legs, although they did have a thorough warming up, as did both sides before the start of this one. So the journey should have gone from them, and it's something they're well used to, coming from down there on the south coast. Again, transfer to the left-hand side for East Grinstead. Lovely ball forward and a great pick-up as well. That was Sophie Bray with an early run. The league's top scorer, and obviously a key player in the East Grinstead lineup. Sophie also spent some time playing her club hockey over in the Netherlands, where she made quite a name for herself. Beeston start again from the top of the circle. Game to be played, of course, in two halves. We get so used to watching the game nowadays in the four quarters, don't we? Worth reminding, I think, of that. Worth reminding myself of that, I have to say. Lovely early ball forward, and East Grinstead somewhat at 6s and 7s here in defence. So a free hit, just a metre or two outside that East Grinstead circle here for Beeston. Chance for them to put some real pressure on that East Grinstead circle. Bringing the ball away from goal. Now it's fired back in. Slightly looping pass is well controlled by East Grinstead. Good pace down the right hand side again. Bray on the ball. Picks it up in full stride there. So good pacey start to the game from both sides. Pass just going away there. Ashley Summer it was out on the left-hand side, reaching in there, trying to pick the ball up. Beeston showing confidence in the rear guard there. That ball played all the way to the penalty spot. Nicely worked out though. Nice work there coming from the stick of Nina Apula. Nice nifty footwork there from umpire Jill Lord. Ball fired across, no harm done. Sideline restop, very close to the corner flag here. Jill Lord just taking pity and allowing the player to move the ball a little bit further away from the corner flag. Umpire Lord very sensibly wearing a peak cap against a low sun on the far side. She's doing its best to break through the clouds. Oh, good work, lovely run around the back and a good cross as well. The goalkeeper scrambling down there. Happy to see that ball going away from a goal in the end. But a promising attack that. So it's a couple of promising sorties by Beeston into opponent's territory. Take confidence from that. After the disappointments on the road last week, today's fixture back on home soil, probably exactly what Beeston would have wanted. The space on the left hand side of East Grinstead want to use it, and they do. Beeston shuffling across, closing down that space in the end. Ball fired forward. Chance here, and it loops over the top in the end, but a half chance. And those are the sort of ones that have been going in this season for Sophie Bray and for East Grinstead. So a bit of a scare there for Beeston, who up to that point had looked the most likely perhaps to be our first scorer. Now they're breaking quickly down the left-hand side. See how tight some of the marking is out there. Tackles raining in. Nice switch again to the left-hand side. Beeston's defence, keeping it very simple, playing the ball out over that sideline. East Grinstead set again. That's a poor pass forward though, well picked out by Beeston. That's one for Beeston to chase down here, and she's made it look very comfortable. Good stick save in the end by the goalkeeper. Well, East Grinstead really struggled to get across there, and the shot came in, really tested the goalkeeper, who batted it away. Back into the circle it goes again. Whistle's gone in favour of the defence this time. Beeston were hoping that might have found an East Grinstead foot in the circle, but the defenders keeping it clean. Beeston employing a high press and almost gaining the much wanted dividend there, very nearly pinching the ball off the last line of East Grinstead defence. Well, we're coming up to the 10-minute mark. I doubt these two sides can continue at this frenetic pace. It really is end-to-end stuff. Nice work on the ball. Coming from Chloe Brown there. Brown again with the free hit this time. Ball drilled in very firmly there. From Chloe Palmer. Two Chloes. Misplaced pass by Beeston gives East Grinstead possession again. Good early ball forward, trying to link in with the run there of Caroline Hume. Caroline Hanks losing out in the midfield. Bray goes off on one of those little mazy runs of her, leaves the ball behind now for a teammate. That was Bridget Blackwood making the run behind her. Good work by Hume. Now, good early ball forward here for East Grinstead. Chance for them to run at that Beeston circle. Held up. Final pass just eluding East Grinstead there from a promising position. Hume again. Lovely early ball. Great take as well. Ball bouncing around right at the very top of that East Grinstead circle, but it's East Grinstead who come away with the ball again and play that early release pass. Bray keeps popping up in wide and central positions. Very mobile player. That's always been a hallmark of her game, and looks as if she's got the freedom to roam in terms of those forward positions. Have heard her described as the baby-faced assassin, which is an epitaph that seems to fit the bill. Now Beeston picking up the attack and the pace. Poor pass, wanted something more positive than that. A nothing pass, surrendering possession back to East Grinstead again. Well, both sides putting in the legwork. No mistaking that, but the final pass is not there for either camp at the moment. Good solid challenge there put in, taking the ball very cleanly. Then rather spoilt by a misdirected pass again. It's scrappy from Beeston here, and the umpire has pointed for the penalty stroke for that challenge. Well, it was untidy by Beeston. They've got themselves out of shape a little bit. All started again with a turnover, unnecessary. Good early ball forward by East Grinstead into the circle. There's the confusion, and the challenge on the attacker from behind is penalised. Chloe Brown just disappearing out of her shot and now reappearing. Looks to be the chosen one. So it's Chloe Brown who opens the scoring with the calmest of penalty strokes there, beating Beeston's keeper. Natalie Robson in goal today. Let's watch it again. Wasn't hanging about, was she? Ball on the spot. One pace in and ball in the back of the net. Robson going the right way, but beaten there. So first blood goes to East Grinstead. It comes from the penalty spot. And a further warning for Beeston that they really do need to guard possession of the ball a little more carefully. Self-inflicted damage there. Beeston trying to get back on terms. The ball played from within the circle straight into a line of East Grinstead shirts. Ball off the Beeston foot there, but I think the umpire will give it as a sideline ball, will she? She does. Hand to Beeston. Now the pass goes astray. I'm sure that will not be wasted on the Beeston coach. Good early lead again, down into that bottom right-hand corner. Beeston have got numbers there. So 17 minutes gone, almost halfway through this first half, which has been excellent in many regards. Chloe Brown's goal, the difference between the two at the moment.
Confirmation of the East Grinstead goal scorer on the spot, number 17, Chloe Brown.
Good play by Beeston. Now can they make something over here? What a chance. In on the goalkeeper who makes the save. Farah Yayar in the East Grinstead goal, and she got down well there. She didn't come rushing out. She bided her time. And that was a really good opportunity for Beeston. For what would be on the balance of play, a deserved equaliser, you would have to say. Well, we may be in early March, but it's almost an April day today with the showers and the strong breeze. A day when communication between the players down the pitch needs to be at full volume, lest it get blown away. Beeston again, eager to get the ball back into play quickly. Look at the run of Bray. The pace and general movement of Bray causing problems for Beeston, as I'm sure they would have expected. Good solid pass out of defence and well controlled, a difficult bouncing ball. Apula allowed to go on, plays the ball down towards that baseline, good flat hit across and deflected away for a long corner. Good attack that from Beeston, much more promising. Again, Apula putting in some good quality work. Ball fired into the circle. Grinstead running the ball into a bit of a cul-de-sac, but again it's come out kindly for them. Eventually the ball reaches that wide right-hand attack. Back into the Beeston circle, transferred now out to the near side. Having got their noses in front, East Grinstead are working very hard to keep Beeston at bay here. Clever turn by the goal scorer Brown. Not picked up over on the far side, so a sideline ball here for Beeston. Grinstead again picking up a loose pass. Free hit. About 4 metres outside that Beeston circle. Long corner. Hannah Harrison out there. The umpire in the orange shirt, and I think she's changed her mind. With consultation from her colleague, it's given now as a defensive hit out, which is taken quickly. Now, is there something for Beeston here down the left-hand side? No, because excellent cover there from East Grinstead, putting in a really good turn of pace to get back, having initially missed out. Catherine Lane would have been pleased to see that one bouncing away from her opponent. So just about 12 minutes left in this first half. We can't always completely rely on the on-screen clock, which is not synchronised with the technical table, so don't rely too heavily on that, but it gives us an indication at least of where we are in the game. The scoreline you can rely on, which is good news if you're a supporter of East Grinstead, I guess. Right now. Beeston waiting for the support to arrive. Ambitious pass towards the top of the circle. Bray working the ball from a deep position. Plays the little give and go. Here she is again, tries to lift the ball over the top of the defender's stick with that array of 3D skills that she has. Shot on reverse stick side, and it's found the back of the net, and East Grinstead have a second goal here. The goal scorer, I think, was Lucy Holder, but we'll have to confirm that again. Again, Beeston just a little bit guilty of going to sleep at the back. Free hit taken quickly, ball in, shot on the turn. Yes, it's Holder who plants it past Natalie Robson there. It will not be including that one, I suspect, in her personal show reel. Into the back of the net it flew. So East Grinstead 2 to the good. Brown's goal from the penalty spot, and now Holder in open play. Confirmation of the scoreline and the most recent goal scorer there for you, Lucy Holder. A lot of attention, of course, has been focused on Sophie Bray and her importance to the East Grinstead forward line, but the beauty of somebody like Bray is the amount of attention that she requires from the opponent, which gives space for those around her to capitalise. And there's another one, my goodness! And East Grinstead really are on fire now. That one absolutely slammed across the face of the goalkeeper, who this time I think had very little chance. Let's watch it again in the build-up. All flashed into the back of the net. And Beeston are really struggling here. So 2 goals in quick succession, the latest from Natasha Brown, and Natasha Brennan rather. Well, that's a very damaging couple of minutes for Beeston, you have to say. To an extent, they've been architects of their own downfall, with some loose passing at both ends of the field and some ordinary clearances, but they've been made to suffer in their own circle. A real lesson in finishing. So they need to sit in here and regroup. Half-time now, just over 7 minutes away. Brown, Holder and Brennan the goal scorers. Brown's opener from the penalty spot, of course, but Holder and Brennan's goals coming in open play. Half-time, I suspect, can't come quickly enough for Beeston now. Be careful not to give away anything here, and they have conceded the penalty corner. Unguarded feet there. Clever work on the ball by a rampant East Grinstead. And the Beeston defence are really hurting here. Lovely turn. The ball back was always looking for just one thing, the foot. So options for East Grinstead at the top of the circle. 17 is Chloe Brown. Away to her left is Bridget Blackwood. Goalkeeper's done well to keep that one out. Looking for her friends to help her out. Umpire's gone for another penalty corner here. Beeston just checking what the offence was. Protective mask pulled back into position. Catherine Lane there to goalkeeper's right. Out it comes. And that's caught the Beeston girl a painful blow, and she'll need a couple of seconds to recover her composure here. Again, it's going to be a retake of the corner. Bridget Blackwood coming forward just to inquire about the health there of the Beeston defender, who took one for the team there. And in fact, he's been given in favour of the defence, and I think that's that right decision. I thought originally East Grinstead were lining up for a retake. Sideline ball for the Bees. Stenner throws one forward. Robinson sets off. Chops it past, well, not quite past, but chops it into the defender at the top of the circle. Worked wide again. Clever little shot under the arm there. Goalkeeper dealt with a difficult ball in some ways. He had no pace on it. Pulu's gone right in, almost to the far post here. Ball fed to the near one. Pula comes across in front of the goalkeeper. Got a touch on it. So last few minutes of this first half, and what a first half it's been as far as East Grinstead are concerned. Without really dominating possession, they've built up what looks like a convincing 3-0 lead. And Beeston will have to change the destiny of these points in dramatic fashion in the second half. Cleverly crafted ball over the top down towards that bottom corner. East Grinstead on it again. Well, it'll be a pretty happy East Grinstead group at half time, who I think we can safely say have got the journey out of their system. Two sides that have been prepared to play a fast, open game. But the scoreline, as you can see, very much favouring the visitors, who look here to extend that lead. Forced away from goal this time, a little slip. Possession turned over in favour of Beeston this time. Bray right in front of the defender. Bit of aerial play there from both sides. Umpire quite happy. You almost sense that East Grinstead fancy the chances for a fourth goal even before the interval here. They realise that Beeston have been shaken by those, well, 3 goals, but particularly the 2 coming in quick succession, and are somewhat vulnerable at the moment to conceding a fourth. Brown down the left-hand side. Happy to go on a foot race. Kick clear by Robson. Here come East Grinstead again. Not picked up this time. And that's the half-time whistle sounding. A very satisfactory half as far as the visitors are concerned, because they lead by 3-0. Goals coming from Brown, Holder and Brennan, and it leaves Beeston with an awful lot of work to do in the second half. So confirmation of the half-time scoreline for you here at the Nottingham Hockey Centre. It's Beeston 0, East Grinstead 3. We'll be back with all the second half action for you in a few minutes' time. Done on the far side. She's doing its best to break through the clouds. Oh, good work. Lovely run around the back and a good cross as well. The goalkeeper scrambling down there. That's one for Beeston to chase down here. And she's made it look very comfortable. Good stick save in the end by the goalkeeper. Good solid challenge there put in, taking the ball very cleanly. Then rather spoilt by a misdirected pass again. It's scrappy from Beeston here. And the umpire has pointed for the penalty stroke for that. Chloe Brown just disappearing out of her shot and now reappearing. Looks to be the chosen one. So it's Chloe Brown who opens the scoring with the calmest of penalty strokes there, beating with that array of 3D skills that she has. Shot on reverse stick side, and it's found the back of the net, and East Grinstead have a second goal here. The goal net. And Beeston are really struggling here. So 2 goals in. Be careful not to give away anything here, and they have conceded the penalty corner.
When you succeed,
We succeed.
so we listen.
We tailor. And we invest in you.
We are innovators.
We deliver results.
And world-class service.
We are always developing you.
Learning and growing.
And getting better at what we do. Supporting your business.
We make technology effortless.
And more than just a means to an end.
We're the team who serve.
And advise you.
All to help you achieve.
And surpass your goals.
We're super.
We're honest.
And go the extra mile.
We're winners.
And team players.
And together,
We're the managed service provider.
We're Air IT.
We're Air IT.
we're Air IT.
You're number one for IT and comms.
So what advice might you give to another parent who has a child that plays hockey or a different sport?
It's always to be supportive. At the end of the day, they're doing it for themselves. They're doing it because they want to do it. Now, there might be the odd time when something hasn't gone well, and the important thing is to stick with something. Never just give up on it because the going's hard at the moment.
I don't know if you remember this. I came out of one of my reviews and was pretty upset, and I FaceTimed you and Dad, and I remember being quite emotional because I thought I'd let you down, and you and Dad just said to me that I wasn't doing this for you two. I wasn't doing it just to make you guys happy.
Absolutely. It's most definitely your life, and whilst we're very proud of you, you're doing it for, for your own enjoyment, for your own work. You're not doing it for us at all.
When we're younger, often as kids, we don't realise how much effort you put in. I definitely wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you and Dad and the rest of the family, so thank you.
I played at the highest level for Holland since I was 17. First you start as a talented little girl and just go and play, and now you really have to carry the team. A lot of the media, they always write things about you, but it's not important. I know what I can do, and the people that I really care about, they always believed in me. And I've always been a fighter. Even when you think you can't go anymore, you just keep on going because of your team. My position in the field is important, but without the others, I'm no one. Speed is very important. There isn't room for error, actually. It's just me, opponents, and my teammates. You have to give it your all, no mercy. Every competition we play, you just want to win. When you step on the podium, it's just the best feeling in the world. It is hard to dare and dream about winning, but we know if we play well, we can beat anyone.
Welcome back then to the Nottingham Hockey Centre, where Beeston are out ready to get the second half underway. They trail at half-time by 3-0, remember, so they really have a huge task ahead of them here against one of the league's leading outfits, who've capitalised on some pretty ordinary distribution of the ball by Beeston in that first half, and I'm sure that they'll have got their heads together at half-time, realise that to an extent they've let themselves down. They've dug a hole that they now have 35 minutes to dig themselves out of, and that's what the Beeston faithful will be hoping for, of course. And it's never over, of course, in sport until it's over, but a really good start by East Grinstead. Goals coming from Brown, a penalty stroke that got their campaign underway, and then it was Lucy Holder and Natasha Brennan adding goals 2 and 3. Those last two coming within 90 seconds of each other. So away we go in the second half. East Grinstead and the White Tops playing towards the University of Nottingham end. That's away to my right. A very busy road that links this university part of town to the city centre. and further on to the M1 motorway and to Derby. So East Grinstead will be absolutely brimming with confidence and be looking to get the second half pattern very similar to the way they ended the first half, with pretty much one-way traffic on the Beeston goal, which wasn't the picture earlier in the game, where Beeston had their share of the spoils, but were just a little bit loose with the final pass, which then became something of a widespread issue. Too many cheap turnovers. If East Grinstead can hang on to the points here, which looks very much as if will be the case, then it'll put clear water between themselves and their host today. It would move East Grinstead on to 25, and Beeston 7 points back on 18. So this stage of the season, that's quite a gap to make up. I suspect we'll see plenty of this from East Grinstead, particularly if Beeston elect to stand off them as they are at the moment, because East Grinstead don't need to pull up any trees in this in the second half. Beeston really need to come out as they are now to make sure they get their share of the ball. That was Sophie Robinson there being penalised, looking very disappointed she didn't get the hit. Lovely take and turn, spins away. That was a Pip Lock. Palmer. Nice little layoff out to that left-hand side. Ball again, bounced around the circle. Chance here. Shot comes in. Goalkeeper did well to knock that one away. No real power on the shot, but again the Beeston defence was unlocked. Ball rattles into the net behind Natalie Robson's goal, but no deflection within inside the circle. Picked up at the second attempt by Rebecca Walker. Goes on a run down the left-hand side, but runs into the open stick of the defender. Both sides guilty at times of turning the ball over too cheaply. And again. Well, if Beeston are going to find a way back into this game, it's going to require a huge amount of legwork and a massive dose of belief. It won't be good enough to match the work rate of East Grinstead. They're going to need to exceed that by quite a distance. But I suspect, compared to the necessary legwork, the biggest obstacle at the moment is one of belief. Having the confidence to know that you are still in the game, even at 0-3. But as we've seen already today, goals can come thick and fast. But you need a start. Rather casual free hit there from East Grinstead down to the corner flag, but it's worked out well enough for them. This is Locke. Recycles it again. Locke under pressure this time and makes the mistake. Presents Beeston with the ball. Lottie Ross plays it back to the centre of the Beeston defence. That enables the angle to be changed out to that right hand side. Now is there something here for Beeston? Ball played into the circle. Play waved on. Whistle goes finally, and it's in favour of East Grinstead. East Grinstead will know that their 3 points today, if they become their 3 points, we'll see them start to look up the table towards Holcombe and Surbiton rather than back over their shoulders towards the scramble for fourth place. It would cement their situation within the league table. And no doubt Clifton Robinsons and Buckingham will be keenly keeping an eye on this game and this result. The other two sides involved in the chase for the playoff spots. Better from Beeston. Good work from Lottie Ross. Here she is again. Ball firmly struck into the circle. Beeston can't pick it up. It'll be another hit out to the defence, which they've taken very quickly. Now, chance for Bray to run at the Beeston defence. Good cover. Ball just coming off the East Grinstead leg there. Taking a full stretch. Now it's an end product this time for Beeston. Ball flashed across. Well, that's the closest they've been for some time. Sophie Robinson in on goal again. Beeston slowly but surely getting back onto the front foot. A goal would change the mood music here, that's for sure, if it was to be scored by the home team. Long corner taken quickly. Support coming. Ball drilled in, deflected away. It'll be another long corner. Serena Barr's ball in there. Looks like she might be involved again. No, she leaves it this time. And makes a little run on the left hand side. Ball played in. Difficult bouncing ball, bit of a nothing ball really. And Rosie Stevenson able to lay a meaningful stick on it. So East Grinstead come away again. 12 minutes gone in the second half. No addition to the half-time scoreline. East Grinstead just going through emotions a little at the moment. Holding the ball up. Some score updates. Buckingham are on goal scoring form, my goodness. Canterbury not feeling the love down in Buckinghamshire. 4-1 to Buckingham. That match still in progress. Similar start time, I think, to our own here. Buckingham started the day 1 place and 2 points ahead of Beeston. And 2 points behind East Grinstead. It looks like the gaps are going to be maintained. And that Buckingham will move a little further away from the Bees. But you never know. A surprise could be just around the corner. Wind, if anything, seems to be picking up. Whistling around the chapel, which is our commentary box here. Real battle for the ball going over on that far side, right on the halfway line, but it's East Grinstead who come away and find some space now on the right-hand side. Free hit for the visitors. Now Beeston run the ball clear up to the halfway line. Good work there from Caroline Hume, who continues to put in the hard yards. That ball loops off the defender's stick and drops over the crossbar for a long corner. Much better intent though coming from the Bees. See the attacking intensity of Bray. They're not giving the defender any time on the ball at all. She's certainly not taking her foot off the gas. Good example there to any youngsters of how you close down the defender, how you go hunting for the ball. even when you're winning, and winning comfortably. Couple of attempted traps there from Bridget Kittle, but it all just bounced rather awkwardly for her. That was lovely work. Great approach play here. Is it away into that Beeston circle? Ross guarding the edge of that circle. Concedes the free hit, taken quickly. And East Grinstead going around the outside and finding the foot there. It'll be a penalty corner. Let's watch it again here. Free hit right on the edge of the circle. Pull back. Circle approached at pace and fired in. Well, whether it's foot or deliberately playing the base over the baseline, I couldn't really be sure on that replay, but either way it's a penalty corner. And a chance here for East Grinstead to increase their lead and surely secure the points. Not the tidiest of traps, but it's still there. Worked into the circle, shot on the reverse stick side, blocked, and again. Some brave defending, but it's come off the foot of Rosie Stevens in there. So we'll watch again that corner. Untidy, wasn't it? East Grinstead kept their concentration. There's the first block. And this is the second corner now. Shot comes in, good save by the keeper. Natalie Robson getting down, knocking the ball away. Good work again from the St Hill girls. St Hill ground, the home of East Grinstead's men and women. Famous hockey venue, as is the one that we're at with our cameras today. The home of the Bees. Good wholehearted stuff from Nina Rapula, who caught the eye on a couple of occasions in the opponent's circle in the first half without having the best of luck. East Grinstead building again. And another penalty corner. So pressure continues to mount here on Beeston defence. Corners starting to come thick and fast. This was the build up to it. Umpire Jill Lord, well positioned to give the penalty corner. So again, plenty of white shirts around the top of the circle for East Grinstead here. Better routine this time. Shot slid in and it's gone right the way through. And East Grinstead have a fourth goal, and with it surely the result. Chloe Palmer, I think, is the striker here. I don't think there was a touch after the initial shot. Let's watch it again here. Palmer, the tall figure. Here she is. Just open those wrists up. Yep, it was Palmer and Palmer alone, I think. I don't think Bray got a touch on that one. So things going from bad to worse for Beeston here. East Grinstead get their first goal of the second half and move 4 goals clear. Oh, good work here by Bees, trying their level best to get on the goal scorer sheet. Somehow it stays out. Some aerial stuff going on in there. This is better for Beeston. Again, East Grinstead allowing Beeston just a sight of the circle.
16, Chloe Palmer.
Oh, here come East Grinstead again. Well, was it a shot or was it a cross? We'll never know. Either way, didn't have the desired effect. Confirmation there of the latest East Grinstead goal scorer, Chloe Palmer. Beeston, a more promising attack. Not much pace on the pass, but the shot on target draws a save there from the goalkeeper. Well, it's going to be a hard last 12 minutes for Beeston here to keep their spirits up in a game where they would have come into it hoping for a result, hoping that home advantage would play in their favour. But those 3 first half goals really crushed their hopes, and East Grinstead coming forward again here looking to further cement the victory. Kick clear, and well kicked clear. But East Grinstead have put in the right amount of work today. They've worked very hard for what we can now, I think, assume is going to be the victory. This has not been an easy 3 points. The scoreline flutters them somewhat in those early exchanges where both sides were playing with real pace and creating sorties into their opponent's circle. The game could have gone either way, but almost from the first moment. And, well, that's a moment of controversy here. The umpire, I think, has signalled a goal, but she's now saying she's going to speak to her colleague. Ball did seem to deflect off the Beeston stick. It's ended up in the back of the net. And Hannah Harrison striding across to talk to Jill Lord on this near side. And I think it's been given for lifting into the circle here. It's not going to count as far as a Beeston goal is concerned, that's for sure. Well, it's one of those things, the ball's in the net, but it didn't look right at any point, really. And you'll see no protest from Beeston at all. I think they knew the decision was unlikely to go in their way once the umpires decided to consult. Unless there be any confusion, and when the umpires consult, it's not in any way a sign of weakness. In fact, it's a sign of strength. They are the third team involved here, and you use every advantage that you have at your disposal. Angles can be very deceptive in the game of hockey, and the ball, as we've seen, moves so quickly. Players running in front of you, you do need every viewpoint. Again, the hit goes against Beeston. We're into the last 10 minutes now. And East Grinstead have had a little bit of a breather in the second half, but at no point have they looked in anything other than control of the situation. That was guaranteed as a result of their first half endeavours and those 3 goals, giving a half-time scoreline that somewhat flattered them, but they won't mind. Well, that's possibly the worst attempted aerial of the day. Although the Beeston men and the East Grinstead men will have a chance to take that title in the game that follows this one. Men's game gets underway at 2 o'clock. I hope you'll be able to join us again for that. Again, a game that promises, looking at the league table, so much, with plenty at stake. It's 2 o'clock for that one. A fixture that over the years has always been an exciting one. Grinstead stroking around at the back. Beeston working hard, chasing it down and drawing the mistake on that far side. Always looks worse when you miss the ball when you're standing on the touchline, doesn't it? Good early ball played forward. Well, the question now in my mind is whether Beeston can actually get themselves on the score sheet before the end of the game. It might be a small thing, but it might just give them a little bit of a glimmer of confidence for the games that are to follow. Not much confidence you can take from a big fat 0, I'm afraid, when your opponents have rattled in 4. Again, clever take and turn. And there's a 5th, beautifully taken this time. Well, she deserves a goal, and Bray goes across to thank the provider. But let's watch again here. Seemed to be no real danger with the build-up on that left-hand side. Bray just drifting in there between defender and goalkeeper, got the crucial touch. And Bray extends the East Grinstead lead and adds to the Beeston pain. Well, that skill, the flat hit from wide on the left-hand side, is a skill that is very hard to effect with such accuracy. And that was a very, very good backhand cross there. And Bray, goal poacher that she is, was in there in a flash. So the day just gets better and better for East Grinstead. And Bray again on the ball here, running round in little circles, which is pretty much what she's been running around her opponents in this afternoon. East Grinstead is showing no signs of wanting to run the clock down. Still coming forward, putting that Beeston defence under some pressure. So 5 goals and 5 different scorers for East Grinstead. And Beeston men will be getting themselves prepared for the game that follows, the 2 o'clock start against East Grinstead's men's team. And Beeston will be glad that the day is not to be settled on aggregate score with this 5-0 deficit in favour of the visitors. Calm defending. Good work from Ross. Beeston coming forward again, still looking for that consolation. Might be something for them here. Not far away at all. Again, it was Nina Apula, I think, with the final touch. Well, clearly it wasn't, because it's given us a long corner, but Apula was certainly in there. Sideline ball for the Bees. Nice approach work, but no end product. Something of the story of the day for Beeston, I fear. Not long to go now. Players just checking with the umpire which way she's given the decision here. Ball fired in towards the near post. The angle wasn't great, but good enough for a long corner. Pip Locke has picked up a green card. She can go and be first in the shower, because she won't be coming back, I suspect, with if our clock is to be relied upon. Not long to go now at all. And the final hooter has sounded, almost unheard in our commentary position, but it's a very satisfactory day's work for the visitors. East Grinstead have won this one at a canter by 5-0. 3 goals in the first half gave East Grinstead a very comfortable looking lead, with the goals coming from Brown, Holder and Brennan. And to those 3, it was Palmer and Bray in the second half, taking the game firmly away from the hosts. So congratulations to East Grinstead. They pick up the 3 points on offer and move on to 25 points now. And Beeston are still in that mid-table zone, and they'll need to improve their performances with the fixtures still to come this year to make sure they don't drop further down the league table than they are at the moment. So that's it as far as the women are concerned, but do join us back here for the reverse fixture, as it were, Beeston against East Grinstead men game that gets underway at 2 o'clock. We'll be on your screens shortly before that, and we look forward to seeing you again in a few minutes' time. Goodbye for now. Done on the far side. She's doing its best to break through the clouds. Oh, good work. Lovely run around the back and a good cross as well. The goalkeeper scrambling down there. That's one for Beeston to chase down here. And she's made it look very comfortable. Good stick save in the end by the goalkeeper. Good solid challenge there put in, taking the ball very cleanly. Then rather spoilt by a misdirected pass again. It's scrappy from Beeston here. And the umpire has pointed for the penalty stroke for that. Chloe Brown just disappearing out of her shot and now reappearing. Looks to be the chosen one. So it's Chloe Brown who opens the scoring with the calmest of penalty strokes there, beating with that array of 3D skills that she has. Shot on the reverse stick side, and it's found the back of the net, and East Grinstead have a second goal here. The goal net. And Beeston are really struggling here. Be careful not to give away anything here, and they have conceded the penalty corner. Nice little layoff out to that left-hand side. Ball again bounced around the circle. Chance here. Shot comes in. Goalkeeper. Now Beeston run the ball clear up to the halfway line. Good work there from Caroline Hume, who continues to put in the hard yards. That ball loops off the defender's stick and drops over the cross circle. Ross guarding the edge of that circle, concedes the free hit, taken quickly. And East Grinstead going around the outside and finding the foot there. It'll be a penalty corner. We'll watch again that corner. Untidy, wasn't it? East Grinstead kept their concentration. There's the first block. And this is the second corner now. Shot comes in, good save by the keeper. Natalie Robson getting. So again, plenty of white shirts around the top of the circle for East Grinstead here. Better routine this time. Shot slid in and it's gone right the way through. And East Grinstead. And there's a fifth. Beautifully taken this time. Hello and welcome once again to the Nottingham Hockey Centre, where on this blustery Saturday afternoon we're enjoying a double header of games between Beeston and East Grinstead. We've already had the Ladies League game, which finished very convincingly in favour of the visitors, East Grinstead, winning that one by 5 goals to 0 with 5 different scorers. And now it's the turn, of course, of the men. Both sides lie inside the top 4, with the Bees 5 points ahead of today's visitors, but 7 off the top spot. And last week's long trip to Exeter yielded just a point in a 3-all draw, and Stephen Wood's boys will see that as 2 points dropped, I fear, making a result today a very important game indeed in the race for the top 4 and of course the playoffs. East Grinstead are in the top 4, but only by the skin of their teeth, with Holcombe, Brooklands and Reading all in hot pursuit of them and that coveted playoff spot. So 2 teams who both need something out of today's game, which should make for an entertaining and a high-level game of hockey. But then again, when are games between these 2 sides ever anything less than entertaining?
Having not played last weekend, Holcombe get their season back underway with a home match against Beeston. The home side could go above Beeston with a win, as the visitors drew 1-1 last weekend with Brooklands. They're looking to try and keep pace with the top 2 in the division. Ball to the right-hand side, and a chance here perhaps as Dupre plays it into the circle, and a chance for Banderak, but Hudran is there, and Beeston clear their lines. Banderak, usually so deadly in front of goal, and Hudran equal to it. Ball played forward and then measured clearance by Bray, and here come Holcombe. Little look up, plays the ball in field, gets a little lucky with the deflection, but then it's played on nicely to Field. Field into the circle on the reverse stick, fires it across, and there's no touch on the far post from the sliding duo in red shirts, and it's a 16. Field running at the heart of the Beeston defence on the reverse stick. Banderak's the first one. Who's the second one? Couldn't quite see. Is it Bray? Round they go, Beeston, trying to find the breakthrough. Ball played into the head of the circle. Shot comes in. Good save. Is that a penalty corner? Yeah, up off the keeper's left kicker. Does well to get the left foot across here, but can't control the heights. Penalty corner. Gleckhall with the drag flick. It's a good save by the keeper. Good job it was where it was, otherwise I think that was in. Great. Again, lovely layoff by Holcombe, and the shot is well saved. Have a look here, ball played in, lovely little layoff, and the shot is well saved by Hudwan. Gleckhall picks it up, and that's a good save. With the ball not out of harm's way, another shot comes in, another save. Is it to be third time lucky for Beeston? Ball played back in, and I think it's another penalty corner off Robbins. Good double save from the Holcombe keeper. It's the first one. Again, it will go to Gleckhall. This time he goes low and through the keeper's legs. Mark Gleckhall breaks the deadlock after 21 minutes. Holcombe 0, Beeston 1. And it's the old low one between the legs that's caught the keeper out. Really difficult sometimes, those one. Beeston lead. It's a misinjection. Holcombe have to improvise here, and a chance perhaps on the swing, and it's just been fired wide by Kaplan. Strange how often a misinjected penalty corner leads to a really good scoring opportunity. Good trap by Kaplan, and then as he spins, can't quite get it inside the post. Penalty corner. It's going to be Gleghorn again, and Gleghorn fires it to the keeper's left. and it's gone in. Gleghorn with his second. The keeper looks forlorn. He looks at his left glove. Just couldn't quite get enough on it. And Beeston have doubled their lead. Just slides inside the post. Marshall. That left-hand side, ball into the circle. Well picked up. And a firing rocket shot by Proctor. That is a great goal from Chris Proctor. And 2 goals at the start of the second half have put Beeston firmly in control of this one. It was a lovely ball in. Proctor gets the better of the defender. Perhaps gets a little fortunate, but once in this position, there's no argument about that finish. Penalty corner. Again, it's Gleghorn. Will he get his hat-trick? And he does. Can you believe it? This time it's the stick glove that lets the keeper down, and with 10 minutes to go, the points are surely safe now. Holcombe 0, Beeston 4. And Gleghorn has a hat-trick. And I think the keeper will feel he could have kept all 3 out. Ball comes in. Well picked up by Griffiths. And Beeston just trying to play it out of that circle. Run into a bit of trouble. A chance here. Shot comes in. What a save from Hujwan. That is absolutely out the top drawer, because this is absolutely fired in, and Hujwan gets his stick to it. Fantastic. Is there to be a consolation for the home side? Unlikely, as Marshall comes across. There is the final whistle, and an excellent road win for Beeston against the side nearest to them in the table. And it is a comfortable victory. Final score, Holcombe 0, Beeston 4.
So, good news there for Beeston on their travels, a comfortable victory over Holcombe. But today, of course, a different day. They have home advantage, but they have another stern opponent in the shape of East Grinstead, who we see there warming up. Sitting alongside me is Steve Musson, as he has been pretty much throughout the men's season here at the Nottingham Hockey Centre. Steve, welcome again. What sort of game are you expecting to see today?
Well, I think all the time that Beeston have played against East Grinstead, the games have always been open, progressive, quite a lot of attack play, but also flawed. And in many situations, and I think has been typical of both teams in the last few weeks, for all their good play, they can be quite open at the back and prone to mistakes. So we'll see some of that today, but I would imagine that'll make it quite an exciting fixture.
The coin toss taking place in the background there. Umpire's just checking with the captains about an exact start time. We'll have the players brought out onto the field in the usual fashion for you. Captains shake hands, and we'll be underway here in about 6 minutes' time with, as Steve was saying, what should be an important game. And you can see that that's the ladies' table that we're looking at there, and that's better. That's the men's table. Surbiton and Hampstead and Westminster ruling the roost at the moment, both on 32 points. Then Beeston, tucked in nicely there on 25. You can do the maths yourself and see what a difference 3 points for them would make today. And then East Grinstead, well, they're on 20 points at the moment, which puts them above the line, which is where they need to be at the end of the normal league season to make the playoffs. But look at that queue of sides coming up behind them. Holcombe, Brooklands, Manchester University and Reading, all within striking distance. So it's very tight at the top, and Beeston will be keen to put some daylight, I'm sure, today between themselves and East Grinstead. 5 points looks comfortable. It could go as many as 8 with a Beeston win today, but if it were East Grinstead to win, then all of a sudden it starts to look very tight again. Steve, is that...
I think it's an interesting. This is why I think this part of the season is always so fascinating, really, because you have got this chase for the top 4. It's one of the things that is good about having the playoffs, because obviously sides right the way to the end of the season are looking to get into that top 4. I watch with interest how Brooklands have come on in the last 3 or 4 weeks. They've probably got the best form in the league. 13 points from 15 they've got. And with them playing Exeter at home today, they're going to be looking to push Holcombe, East Grinstead and ourselves.
Yes, you see University of Exeter, who were Beeston's last opponent, tucked in there at the wrong end of the table, but the point they picked up last week will give them some hope they might get out of jail and Wimbledon will start to get sucked into that dogfight down there as well. So it's all about the points today. I have to say, in looking at the table as it stands, Beeston might, in the final analysis, be happy to settle for a point, but getting something from today's game must be an absolute priority for them.
I think that's right. One of the other fixtures today, Nick, of course, Hampstead and Holcombe. So again, as far as the top four, the future of the top four sides is concerned, that's an interesting one for Holcombe, who'll be wanting to keep as much progress as possible in their push for the top four.
Well, we saw in that highlights segment how Holcombe were put to the sword by Beeston, but they have the firepower to upset any side within the division as well. So yes, we'll hopefully be able to keep an eye on the scores coming in from that game as the day progresses as well. Now, you've got some team news about the Beeston.
Yes, I mean, interestingly, this week we've got Adam Dixon back for the first time in a while, which is great to see him looking tanned and fit and well. So he's playing today, and Ollie Willars is back in the side. But unfortunately, we've lost Mark Gleghorn, who's got a hip injury. He's had some treatment on his hip this week, so he's not playing. And we've Elliot Hybel back, who's been out after a series of injuries. So we've got him back today, and hopefully he'll last them more than one game. So that's useful because he was becoming quite prolific on the short corners. So that'll be good with Mark Gleghorn missing to have Elliot back in the team.
Yes, and particularly good to see Great Britain's newly named captain, Adam Dixon, back on his home pitch here. And a chance for us to congratulate him on that very well-deserved promotion to the full captaincy of Great Britain. A
yes.
Great leader and a great role model for youngsters as well. Adam Dixon, no doubt, we'll see plenty of him during the course of today's game. So Beeston boys there lining up ready to come out with the two match umpires. They'll be coming out in a moment. Paul Walker and Matt Harrison, the two umpires.
And just on the injury front, Nick, I think East Grinstead have got their problems as well. I understand Liam Ansell's an ankle injury, so he's not playing today. Reece Smith's not playing. And Wesley Jackson's missing as well, and I suspect that might be to do with his coaching duties. So there's a bit of a change for East Grinstead as well.
Yes, captained as ever there by Simon Faulkner.
Please welcome visitors, East Grinstead.
Those of you who follow the indoor game will have seen East Grinstead winning the indoor title this year, but back out into the cold again now, and it is a chilly day here at the Nottingham Hockey Centre. Strong wind, and the sun that we had for part of the ladies' game seems to have pretty much disappeared now, and a lot of cloud cover. So the two match umpires there, Paul Walker and Matt Harrison. Paul, the taller of the two there, just having a quick chat with Simon Faulkner.
Representing Beeston, number 1, sponsored by Wakefield Trade Windows, Simon Hodgman. 4, sponsored by Riley Wealth Management.
So Beeston boys will walk along the East Grinstead line, and we'll be underway here in, well, around about a minute's time.
7, sponsored by the Beehive Hockey Shop, Garrett Griffiths. 8, Joe Sharp. 10, Nick.
How easy do you think it'll be for Beeston to reintroduce Adam Dixon into the mix?
We've sort of discussed this before. It's actually not quite as easy as you think sometimes. I mean, not wanting to take anything away from Adam, obviously, but the team has practiced and played without him. The one thing about Adam is that he is such a versatile player, and he won't mind what role he's played in. He'll try his best to fit into that, and it won't take the players long to get used to him, I don't think, at all. It can be tougher with other players, but his approach to it makes a difference, I think.
Well, I guess we'll soon know the answer to my question, but it is an issue for sides bringing in their international players and having to drop them out again. I'll miss Gleghorn's penalty corners today, of course, and let's hope that hip injury is nothing too serious.
Yes.
10, Dominic Bowden.
Such an important player at the set pieces with England, Great Britain, and of course Beeston.
Yes.
These days, so much power goes through the body.
It does.
Has to be generated, and there's a whole raft of penalty corner strikers around the world that we could all name who've been dogged with injuries because of that, the rigour that goes into the practicing and the execution of the set piece.
Yeah, very searching body position to have to work through it. It stresses every joint, and particularly the set leg, which is often the problem where you get problems with knees and hips, and that's what's happened with Mark.
So Beeston playing in their black and yellow today. East Grinstead with the white tops and the navy shorts. They've already seen their ladies team come away with the win, and I'll be hoping that there can be some gender equality in that. A win for them would give them a real boost within the table. Beeston, as I said before, I think need to get something out of this game today other than a defeat. So away we go, and here is Adam Dixon on the ball. As you say, Steve, looking particularly tanned.
Yes, unusual this time of the year to have that kind of a tan.
Not in this part of the world, I wouldn't have thought. Actually, the weather we've been having, you could almost have got a suntan last week.
Most
Not
unusual.
today, I have to say. Beeston trying to slide the ball down that attacking left-hand side, but just getting the angle slightly wrong. Worked out to the left-hand side. This is Ali Clift. Pulls the ball back and into the East Grinstead half of the field. Good overlap here for East Grinstead. Ball powered into the circle. Still not clear. Beeston in 6s and 7s at the back there, but didn't end up on an East Grinstead stick. But an early alarm there.
Yeah, a good quick build-up in their transfer work at the back for East Grinstead and finding their way down the right-hand side. Beeston are going to have to be sharp in the D. They showed flaws last week that led to goals that Exeter were able to score by not being set. It's a good example again, something they've got to tidy up early.
Yes, I'm sure Beeston will have viewed that as 2 points dropped last week.
I think that's right. Being ahead 3 times, I think, is
yes.
They need to do better than that, really.
Again, East Grinstead putting pressure down their attacking left-hand side. Umpire on the far side there doing some auditioning for the ball patrol.
Ball pace already a bit of an issue. I'd be looking at that and saying I need that to be passed around a bit quicker.
Nicely intercepted. This is Stott, Ross Stott, Scottish international. A snapshot came in. That I think that was the goalkeeper's save.
I think it was.
Terrific save if it was.
It's a good start from East Grinstead. We're not long in at all and they've already had 3 attacks, so Beeston need to settle a bit.
Whistle's gone in favour of the defence. Dixon takes it quickly. Dixon again tries to thread that pass through the eye of a needle. Didn't quite come off for him this time. Confident start this by
it is.
East Grinstead, getting on the front foot. Good early ball forward again, nicely laid off.
Their pass connections are very good at the moment. I think that's the thing that's setting them apart.
I was about to say they're being very patient, and then they go and try that speculative one out, and it's Beeston who come away strongly with the ball here. And then a complete misunderstanding. It was Chris Proctor, who's been on fire for Beeston this season. Just misplacing his pass there.
Yeah, Chris had a very good season. He's been scoring. He's been very good on his ball possession. I'm sure he'll be chatting to Gareth Griffiths there about the passing angles, but at least they're in East Grinstead's half at the moment.
Firm ball forward, played by the East Grinstead skipper. Again, finding space in that Beeston circle, the ball just bouncing away.
Nice high play from East Grinstead here. It gives them a lot of options for getting into the D. The risk for them, of course, is that they turn the ball over and leads to a counter-attack, as it happened a moment ago, but they're doing well at the moment.
Missed trap on the ball. Allows Beeston back into possession. They look a little surprised, perhaps, the intensity that East Grinstead have brought to these early exchanges. And here they come again, powering forward into the circle. Shot on the reverse stick side is well blocked before it had a chance really to go anywhere. Another long corner for the visitors.
They mustn't hurry these restarts, Beeston, because that was a direct pass to an East Grinstead player at a time when we're trying to settle on the ball a bit.
Tyne now out to the right hand side. Thrown over the top is a good one too. Drops straight onto the stick. Real purpose about these EG attacks.
Very much. As you say, good use of the aerial ball as well, not just throwing it into open territory, but player to player.
Ball just catching the foot there. Bit of a scramble in front of Hudgwan's goal there. Well, it's all East Grinstead at the moment.
It is.
And Beeston need to dig in here.
It's led to the first short corner as well. The pressure has told.
Well, it was building on the defence the whole time, wasn't it? And good use of the width of the pitch on this left-hand side by East Grinstead. See it again here, transferred quickly. Got the space here.
I think if we were to look at any kind of possession stats at the moment, we'd be looking at almost 80-20 in favour of East Grinstead.
It's got to be up there. So the first opportunity here for East Grinstead to really test Simon Hudgwan in the Beeston net from the penalty corner. Simon Faulkner, number 15, is very adept at these. Powerful flicker of the ball.
Yes, the number one runner, Stephen Lawrence, is going to have to get this very accurate.
Faulkner winds it up and goes along the deck. Hudgwan saves. And it's cleared. It must have.
It's a reward for the raised kick.
Raised kick the second time around, do you think?
I think it must have been the first time. It's a straight kick out, straight into the advancing East Grinstead player.
So 2 corners coming in quick succession.
Yeah, Simon Faulkner's flicking is very powerful. Often low, but powerful.
And Hudgman got a glove on it, but can't keep it out. And East Grinstead have the lead that their possession in the game to date just about deserves. And it's their captain, Simon Faulkner, who gives them the lead. Let's watch the corner again here, Steve.
Very good injection. Not hugely high, but it was rising and angling its way away from Simon Hudjwan, and the best he could do was just to tip it into the net.
Yes, I think Simon will be disappointed that he couldn't keep that one out, but testimony to the power that Faulkner can generate.
Yes.
He's a very, very solid unit indeed, almost square.
Yeah.
Very, very powerful.
East Grinstead goal scorer, Simon Faulkner.
Well, I have to say the standard of the East Grinstead play at the moment, it's quite a bit ahead of Beeston, and they need to step up, get a bit more precise in their passing, purposeful in their counter-attack work.
So 10 minutes gone, and the visitors are ahead here. Bees need to respond. The intensity of the East Grinstead game might have caught them surprise in the early exchanges, but now they've got to settle. They've succumbed to that early goal. Still plenty of time to put matters right. And a good response here because they've won their first penalty corner of the game. Paul Walker there into the circle and pointing for the penalty corner.
Useful thing to do in a situation like this. A lot of pressure against Beeston, but having got the ball to a forward player to win the corner, just to settle things down a bit, give them a chance to have a go at the goal. A useful place to get the corner, I think.
Yes, East Grinstead will be disappointed they didn't cut that ball out. It was a long raking pass, and we saw the player there on the replay throwing himself at it, but he couldn't prevent the ball or reaching a Beeston man in the circle. And having just gone behind to a set piece, the perfect opportunity now for the Bees to get back to parity again. Elliot Hibble, number 12, has been on sparkling form when injuries are permitted this season.
And he won the corner there, so he'll probably be looking to flick this as well.
Two Castles, Adam Dixon to Hibble's right. It's Hibble who takes it on.
Very good corner.
And it's
very good corner.
Hibble who scores. Well, what a response that is from the homeboys here. Just what the doctor ordered.
He's carried on where he left off before his injury.
This is not an easy skill.
Elliot Hybel.
Excellent, excellent flick.
Beating a very good goalkeeper, Paddy Smith, there down his left knee side, really. So the East Grinstead lead didn't last long. And we asked whether Beeston would use the East Grinstead goal as a wake-up call. It seems to have been a pretty loud call that has roused them from their early slumbers. So one apiece, back in the melting pot again.
Early signs of the sorts of games you get when Beeston play East Grinstead. Often quite a number of goals and created from mistakes quite a lot of the time as well, I think.
Yes, I think you described it as a flawed contest very
That's
often.
right, yes.
Yes, less than the perfect performance. Always a game that is a joy to watch and follow for the neutrals. Still a good pace about the game.
East Grinstead a lot more organised than they were when we played them at their place in the early part of the season. This is a much more structured performance from them.
Well, it's been a difficult season for all of the sides pretty much in the Premier Division. Certainly those who provide players to the international team to bring players in and out and constantly having to chop and change your squads.
Yes. The possession for each team never lasts long. It's normally 4 or 5 passes maximum, and then the opposition can have a go. So much more end to end than some of the other games that we see.
He's Grinstead trying to get back into that offensive mode again. Easily picked off there, but it's produced a free hit here for Beeston. Rather telegraphed pass, but umpire just having a word here.
Not sure whether Richard Lawrence said something then. I don't know quite what had happened, but big gap between Beeston's midfield and the forwards at the minute. Something they need to close up a bit, really. The unit needs to sail a bit tighter as they move forward.
Typical bit of Adam Dixon work there, that scurrying running style of his. Yeah. Always been a busy, involved player.
A little bit of that East Grinstead sting has been taken out of the game, I think, just in the last 2 or 3 minutes.
Yes, I think the short-lived nature of the lead has perhaps concerned them a little bit.
Yes.
The old story about you being at your most vulnerable when you've scored was tested and found to be pretty much accurate. Again, fired back into the circle. A half chance there for Beeston, but it's East Grinstead who come away.
It's that readiness in the D that we've talked about before. The preparation for a cross needs to happen at the point where the ball's struck, not when you see it arrive on your stick. And a number of times I think forwards often don't react until the ball's really close to them. Deep transfer there, all the way back into the D almost.
Beeston come out of their own 23. A lot of legwork being put in by East Grinstead doing the closing down, but they're chasing shadows at the moment as Beeston transfer the ball cleverly.
Difficult in those corners. You're really looking to get that ball out as quick as possible, and if you can't find a way into the D, it needs to be released to this sort of place.
So pretty much halfway through the first half of play here. Beeston 1, East Grinstead 1. Both goals cancel each other out as the penalty corner strikers for Faulkner and Hibble exchange goals.
Good pressure from Beeston, but East Grinstead have done well, have got out of that nicely.
Mistrap, so possession back to Beeston on the sideline here on our camera side of the field.
High press from East Grinstead. There's not a lot of space there for Beeston. That's going to have to be cleverly moved, and the aerial's an obvious way of getting out of that.
It's a very high one, it needed to be.
Good
Dan
pressure.
Faulkner at the back, brother of the captain. Same muscular features.
It's the Faulkner hockey dynasty, Nick.
Yes, sons, of course, of David Faulkner, one of the Olympic gold medalists from Seoul back in '88.
Didn't take any prisoners, did he?
He didn't. He didn't. And the apple, as they say, never falls far from the tree, as these two are proving.
Well done, Chris Proctor. Good low tackle.
And he breaks away with the ball as well and finds the pass. So triply well done. This is Marshall.
Interesting seeing Adam drop out of his midfield roles. He obviously wants to see a little bit more movement and quality out of the back four. On the ball again.
Well, the idea was good. Wasn't too far away there. Richard Lawrence had made the run out onto this right hand side. I think it was Kyle Marshall who tried to find him. Sideline ball for East Grinstead once we get a ball in the requisite position. Beeston had to work hard to concentrate on keeping that one out. Positions had to be absolutely spot on.
Robbie Gleeson's run that off the side. That's unfortunate, really, trying to get out of what is a tight area at the moment. East Grinstead not afraid to fire the ball into the mark player, and it's paying dividends for them at the moment. Play.
Marshall comes forward and then loses out.
In those sort of positions, the minute you take that ball inside, it's very easy for the marking forward to pick the ball off you, as Kyle Marshall found out then.
Drilled in, the umpire's just conferring as to what the last touch came off there. It's a long corner, is the outcome. And Stott. Again, Beeston leaving this player wide on the left-hand side, allowing the pass to him.
I think East Grinstead's passing pace is creating this space because it's not allowing the defensive player to close them down quickly enough. Whereas Beeston's passing has been slower than that.
Long corner again. So pressure again, just starting to build on Beeston here. Still just under 12 minutes left in this first half of play. Beeston 1, East Grinstead 1. There's the space again.
Yes, they've worked that very nicely.
They have worked it well. Ball played all the way down to the baseline, and then the ball back into the circle found the unguarded foot. And so East Grinstead, who scored, remember, from their last penalty corner, have a chance to go back ahead. We're having a bit of a debate here.
I think they feel that the ball might have been lifted into the player too high. I'd be surprised if this was turned round.
So Matt Harrison coming across to talk to his colleague. I thought the umpires were mic'd together, but perhaps they've got a technical issue. Corner stands. Paul Walker was either not able to offer any advice or concurred with his colleague. I think we can take it that Beeston did not concur with umpire Harrison there. So what could be another pivotal moment in the game here? East Grinstead with a chance to get their noses back ahead.
Hopefully it won't become just a battle of the short corners, but it could be that.
I was thinking exactly the same, Steve. Yeah, it would be nice to see some of the open play skills that are out there on the field brought to bear in this one. But at the moment, it's the corner men who are dictating things. Now, last time Faulkner's shot beat Simon Hudgwan to his right-hand side. It was round about just above knee height, would you say?
I think so, yeah. It was definitely rising, and Simon...
The roof of the net by the time it finished, but a big deflection off Hudgwan. Faulkner again.
He's done it low and hard into the corner, and that's more of a trait of his corner flicking.
That is his trademark, isn't it? But what a talisman he's proving to be here for his team. Let's watch it again. I thought Hudgwan was a little further to his own right this time.
Yes.
And Faulkner all along the carpet there, hammering the ball into the backboards. So he's trying to back ahead, and once again it's the penalty corners doing the stuff. Beeston, who came back immediately having conceded before, looking to do the same again. They've got a little more than 10 minutes left in this first half here to get back on terms.
Just forcing Robbie Gleeson to hit the stick a bit too hard there, just giving them the free hit. Now that allows them to get out of trouble quite easily.
Simon Faulkner.
So just going back to that ball transfer speed, I think we'd mentioned it a second or two before that corner was awarded, and it was the pace of the passing that I think... Ooh.
Oh, what!
There we go. What a response again!
Unbelievable stuff. Well, it was. I think initially it was a fantastic save from Paddy Smith, who is nothing if not spectacular in the goal. But the follow-up has seen the ball bundled into the back of the net, and bundled it most certainly was. Let's watch it again here. Great perseverance initially.
It's hit the bar and come back out, hasn't it? Save, bar, and then follow-up.
And again, the umpire's going into a huddle. But again, the goal stands. The engaged umpire.
That nervous moment when the umpires come together.
It's always a nervous moment. So there's our goal scorer, is it? Do you concur on that, Steve?
I think it's Nick Park.
Nick Park, yes. So Nick Park producing the equaliser. And for the second time in the game, Beeston get back on terms, having recently gone behind. Well, it shows a real spirit.
Yes, great work from Adam Dixon and Robbie Gleeson, attacking straight down the middle, and led to Robbie Gleeson's reverse stick shot. Powerful.
Yes, the tenacity of Dixon just wouldn't be shaken off, and that's always been a great trait of his game.
Yes. And we said we wanted an open play goal anyway, so...
yes, we've got one. Not the prettiest.
No.
But they all count. So Beeston 2, East Grinstead 2, with, well, just under 9 minutes left.
Follows a trend between Beeston and East Grinstead. This, as we said at the start, lots of goals, lots of open play, lots of errors.
Lots of steam coming out of coaches' ears as well, I would imagine.
I suspect it'll carry on like this right to the end of the game, Nick. I don't see this as being a runaway victory for either side. Famous last words. But
well, rather ambitious ball into the circle there, which East Grinstead were able to cope with. But Beeston trying to get back on the front foot here. Was that a push?
I think it was, yeah. Oh, no.
So. It's gone the other way, though.
Not quite sure what happened there, why that was given against Elliot Hybel, but...
Clever little lift over the stick. So East Grinstead twice ahead, twice pegged back, come forward again now, looking to get the noses ahead. Tyne takes it quickly. Lots of space in that midfield. Stopped occupying it. And pretty much the freedom of the parish there.
Yes, I think a coaching point for the East Grinstead coach would be that the minute that they up their tempo and put the pressure on Beeston, it leads to errors. And that's definitely a way in which they can win short corners and get space in the D. And Beeston equally have got to stop these attacks at an earlier point in the play and retain possession a bit longer after they've done that. Strong run from Chris Proctor there. Somebody's going to get a card for that.
Good work by Beeston. Is there something here from pulled across?
What a good position that is. There needs to be more out of that. I think there's James Sutcliffe. He had an opportunity then to connect or win a corner, I think.
Yes, arguably Beeston's best attack.
Yes,
in terms of its build-up. So I agree with you, Steve. I think there are more goals to be had in this game. I certainly wouldn't want to pick a winner at this point. It's a huge aerial, but it ends up on a Beeston stick.
Take care when that aerial comes in. But we conceded a goal against Exeter last week by not taking care of an aerial. Very good skills. I think Robbie could have probably travelled a bit further with that then. He had some open space ahead of him.
Very well defended, I thought. Touching the circle was precise.
The training drill going on in the corner there, playing in 5 square metres.
Deflected over the baseline, just a long corner.
Long corner is much more dangerous now from these sort of start positions they used to be.
I just don't like calling them corners.
No.
Doesn't sit well with me at all.
But the phrase a 23-metre restart. Not
yes, something like that. Something equally snappy.
Equally
and
snappy, yes.
Bowden leaves the free hit in the end. East Grinstead finding space on the right-hand side now. Lovely ball.
Yeah, this has been the best part of East Grinstead's play today. I think this high-pitch transfer, giving them routes in at any point into the D. Need a player on that man a bit earlier.
Well intercepted now. Is there a chance here for Beeston to break forwards and put some pressure on the East Grinstead circle before half time? Dixon holding off a would-be challenge.
Better
keeping
ball
possession.
pace.
You know Adam Dixon very well, Steve. How do you think he'll respond to the international captaincy? Is it something he'll take in his stride?
I think he will, yeah. He has a calmness about him. He understands how difficult it is, and his work rate and leadership it will be partly done by example as well. So I think a lot of players will feed off that, which has definitely got to be a plus. He analyses games well and understands what it takes to get results. So I think from that point of view, there's so many strengths in him, really.
Well, I'm sure I'm not alone in wishing him well. I just hope he doesn't suck any of the effervescence and the energy that he brings to every game, every performance from him. I don't think it will. I agree with you, Steve. I think it's something he will take as an honour, but,
yes,
but also in his stride.
I think that's right. I don't see it affecting his own game, and I think that's probably one of the reasons why he's been given that, because of his maturity and his approach.
Yeah. So the closing stages of what has been a highly entertaining first half. Flawed, to use your expression,
yes,
Steve, but very much in the mould of fixtures between these two fine club sides. Certainly can't fault the commitment of either camp. So the whistle has blown for half-time here, with East Grinstead twice ahead, pegged back almost immediately on both occasions by Beeston, who are showing great tenacity and not to be shaken off. So we'll be back in a few minutes' time with all of the second half action, but we'll leave you with a half-time scoreline of Beeston 2, East Grinstead 2. Stott, Ross Stott, Scottish international. A snapshot came in. That, I think that was the goalkeeper's save.
I think it was.
Terrific save if it was. Well, it's all East Grinstead at the moment.
It is.
And Beeston need to dig in here.
It's led to the first short corner. Yeah, Simon Faulkner's flicking is very powerful. Often low, but powerful.
And Hodgman got a glove on it, but can't keep it out. And East Grinstead have the lead at their possession in the game to Hibble's right. It's Hibble who takes it on.
Very good corner.
And it's
very good corner.
Hibble who scores. Well, what a response that is from the home boys here. There's the space again.
Yes, they've worked that very nicely.
They have worked it well. The ball played all the way down to the baseline, and then the ball back into the circle found the side. It was round about just above knee height, would you have said?
I think so, yeah. It was definitely rising, and Simon...
The roof of the net by the time it finished, but a big deflection off Hodgman. Faulkner again.
He's done it low and hard into the corner, and that's more of a trait of his corner flicking.
That is his trademark, isn't it? But
so just going back to that ball transfer speed, I think we'd mentioned it a second or two before that corner was awarded, and it was the pace of the passing that I think... Ooh.
Oh, what?
Well, there we go. What a response again.
Unbelievable stuff. Well, it was. I think initially it was a fun.
When you succeed,
We succeed.
so we listen.
We tailor, and we invest in you.
We are innovators.
We deliver results.
And world-class service.
We are always developing you.
Learning and growing.
And getting better at what we do.
Supporting your business.
We make technology effortless.
And more than just a means to an end.
We're the team who serve.
And advise you.
All to help you achieve.
And surpass your goals.
We're super.
We're honest.
And go the extra mile.
We're winners.
And team players.
And together,
We're the managed service provider.
We're Air IT.
We're Air IT.
we're Air IT.
You're number one for IT and comms.
I played at the highest level for Holland since I was 17. First you start as a talented little girl and just go and play, and now you really have to carry the team. A lot of the media, they always write things about you, but it's not important. I know what I can do, and the people that I really care about, they always believed in me. And I've always been a fighter. Even when you think you can't go anymore, you just keep on going because of your team. My position in the field is important, but without the others, I'm a no one. Speed is very important. There isn't room for error, actually. It's just me, opponents, and my teammates. You have to give it your all, no mercy. Every competition we play, you just want to win. When you step on the podium, it's just the best feeling in the world. It is hard to dare and dream about winning, but we know if we play well, we can beat anyone.
You can see that the umpires are making it.
And so we welcome you back to the Nottingham Hockey Centre here. We're watching the game between Beeston and East Grinstead, 2-2 at half-time. And a score update for you from the game up at Brooklands. Brooklands, Manchester University 1, University of Exeter 3. So 3 big points there for the University of Exeter, who drew, of course, with Beeston last weekend as they attempt to clamber away from the relegation zone. So 3 very important points for Exeter. 3 goals last week, 3 goals again this week, but this week's 3 worth the 3 points as well. So 2 teams emerging from the dressing rooms at half-time. Murky is how I would describe the weather, murky and windy, so I'm not surprised that the teams have taken themselves away to the dressing rooms for their half-time discussions. East Grinstead will be wondering how they've allowed themselves to be pegged back twice, having twice taken the lead. And Beeston, I'm sure, will be discussing how they can get their noses in front for the first time. And then, Steve, stay there.
Yeah, I think that's right. They've got to make sure that they get much tighter defensively. They can't afford to let this progressive work of East Grinstead, particularly the transfers into the higher positions result in corners, because obviously Simon Faulkner's flicking from corners is dangerous, and you sort of expect him to score 1 in 2, I think. So Beeston have got to control that part of it, and then their counter-attack playing is to continue to be precise, and you know, hopefully maybe pick up an open play goal again, because they've certainly got the ability to do that.
Yes, they have indeed. And yes, I'm sure that Simon Faulkner's penalty corner success rate will be mentioned in the Beeston group at a half-time, and the best way to defend them, of course, is not to give them away in the first place. I hope that's not sounding too trite, but you certainly don't want to give away cheap penalty corners.
I think particularly identifying that the intent from East Grinstead was to create those corners if possible. You've got to be much more alert to how they might do that.
Please put your hands together for visitors East Grinstead and your Beeston Hockey Club.
Should be a busy half, I think, this, Nick.
Could be a big half in the context of the entire season and the standings in the league. So we've got the signal to get the second half underway. East Grinstead in those white tops will be attacking the university end away to our right hand side. Interested to see whether there's any change in setup from either camp in the second half. East Grinstead, I think this is as close to a must-win game as they can for Beeston. I suspect it may be a mustn't-lose game.
Yes, I think, for bearing in mind that after this game there are 4 games left, both sides will be looking for at least 2 wins, if not 3, to make sure that they get into that top 4. So the outcome of this is quite important. But it's interesting to see the fight back factor from sides who are trying to get away from the bottom of the league. Obviously Exeter doing very well. And
that's 2 good results on the bounce now, isn't it?
It is.
That's impressive. It's not easy at this stage of the season to start picking up points when you've been under the cosh for most of the season. Always good for a coach to see that sort of resilience, I think.
Yes.
Sevenoaks starting to look somewhat detached down at the bottom, but those points for Exeter today, or University of Exeter, start to suck Wimbledon back into the mix.
Yes. Sevenoaks playing Wimbledon today as well.
Well, that's a massive game. Oh! It's forced over the line, and East Grinstead have got the lead again. Beeston are complaining about some infringement they think they've seen in the circle. I don't think there's very much point in the umpire referring with his colleague on this one. Let's watch it again. Well, it's a real tangle.
Just what we're talking about. That's.
I wouldn't describe Ross as a free-scoring player, but he's lethal from that sort of distance of, what, 15 centimetres?
Yes.
So not the start to the second half that Beeston and their supporters would have wanted.
Scoring for East Grinstead. Ross, start.
Well, that really was a scrappy goal to give away.
It was.
Now a further test here of the Beeston character that's not been found wanting up to this point. Dixon sprays it across the right hand side.
A good turn from Kyle there. He had a better route into the D, I think, than to just clatter it in like that. I think he could have probably travelled a bit further with it. Made the defenders look over their shoulders a bit.
Yes, there's no need for any panic stations play from Beeston at the moment. They need to be patient, try and stick with the game plan. They know they've been behind twice before in the game and have responded.
Yeah, there's always that tendency to hurry it when you've conceded a goal, and it's probably the last thing you should do.
Yes, and if you are going to concede second half goals, better to concede them early rather than late.
Yes.
Still plenty of time to recover from this situation. It's starting to look like a game where Beeston's big game players, and they've got some of them out there today, have got to step up here and really make their mark. Again, good approach work from East Grinstead. Better defence, tidier defence this time from Beeston.
They've got a lot out of that position in the D.
Half chance here. Shot comes in high. And Hudgwan did very well sliding that left foot across.
Didn't see much of that, I don't think. It was a...
Yeah, they've seen it late, I suspect, but he did very well indeed. That was destined for his bottom left-hand corner. Grinstead having had the lesson repeated twice in the game and conceding, having taken the lead. This time pushing on, looking to build on it. Well, we had 5 goals in the ladies' game between these two sides, although they weren't in any way evenly spread. 5 more in this one, and a long time still to go, so I suspect there's still plenty of goals to come in it. Beeston have a free hit here.
Yes, that's a decent feed forward there. That really does need to be picked up rather than just deflected. I know it's not easy, but it's just that bit of concentration and focus on making sure that that stays in the last third of the pitch. It's too easy for East Grinstead just to get a restart. And there's another one of those errors we've talked about. With
yeah,
this.
well, they're going to come. There are going to be some tensions out there. We've spoken oft times already in this game about the importance of today's game and the destiny of the points on offer. The teams will be well aware of that.
A lot of space there for Beeston.
Cut out of the top of the circle, and East Grinstead can break from here. Stott just tidying things up in the middle of the park. And Bowden losing out. Now,
tricky aerial to deal with there, but that was...
he did well, didn't he?
Did well. Chris Proctor allowing the aerial to be received by the defender without causing him too much pressure, which would have been blown anyway had he done that.
Yes, intelligent play. Rory Patterson, it was trapped underneath it, did very well to cope with it in the end. Now Dixon drifting left to right, leaves it behind.
Lovely dump ball from Adam Dixon there, travelling across the top of the D. Opens up all kinds of angles if it's understood that can happen.
Just a little injection of pace there from Adam Dixon. Changed the whole feel for the move.
He's gone very deep there. Oh!
Well, poor communication there between the two Beeston players. Lucky it was a stick on stick rather than stick on leg. It is, as I mentioned before, a windy day, and it's the sort of day that, unless you're very clear with your pitch communications, it's very hard sometimes to pick up a player's call. Or am I being too charitable? Perhaps there wasn't a call to be heard.
I think Robbie Gleeson was in the best place to hit it, but that's where the communication came in, because it wasn't understood that that was what was going to happen.
Beeston firing one out to that far side now. This is lovely coming from East Grinstead, putting pressure on the top of that Beeston circle, who had the numbers there. Marshall gets one out to this left-hand side.
He's going to say quite happy to keep pressing high. That's allowed Beeston to get out, and it's just whether they can connect themselves up front. Chris Proctor on the ball.
Nice ball in.
Good hockey, good play.
Well, that's much more like it from Beeston. Good goalkeeping there, sweeping the ball away there. Paddy Smith, one of the game's more mobile goalkeepers.
A few good efforts on goal. Yes, it's somebody's told Beeston to speed up a bit.
Now Dixon looks for the support, finds it on the left-hand side. Kyle Marshall.
Lovely turn.
Marshall again in space on the left-hand side.
Not a particularly helpful pass. Good possession, and it's just been given away by a complete mishit.
EG just slowing it down again after that period of frenetic Beeston play.
They did drop quite deep in that little phase of play, whether that was probably called, so much deeper than even half court, just to make sure that they stayed in shape until they got the ball back, and it worked quite well for them. Little moments, little errors like that break down the progress. I think Beeston will be hoping for something from this attack now.
Ball fired in. Oh, almost fell for the Beeston forward. East Grinstead not coping with it particularly well. Rather wild shot on the reverse stick side.
Yes, I think that would have been better possessed and going again rather than just having a shy from an awkward angle.
Yes, there is still a long time to go, but that's easily said from a commentary position. Perhaps less easy to recognise down there on the pitch in a game that's clearly going to be all about small margins.
Yes.
But you're absolutely right, Steve. It was a time for composure. Beeston seeing plenty of the ball. and in the right sort of areas. Can they win something here? Again, there's a real tangle. Well,
close.
Paddy Smith there was fortunate to get away with some pretty ordinary defending around him. Might have been punished.
I think both defences, to some extent, have been going into panic mode when things get a bit tight.
Yes, that's absolutely right, and very evident from what we're seeing down there. No, it's not as if we don't know these players. We know their quality, and when you see them making rash decisions and unforced errors, you know that something is amiss. And it's that vital area between the ears that's amiss at the moment in some cases. But as I said earlier, this is where Beeston's senior players need to up their contribution and to try and restore calm and composure. So about 20 minutes left in this one as Beeston launch one into the circle.
Well, I think they feel there that there was a serious push on Elliot Heibel in the D. Obviously, Matt Harrison didn't think that was the case.
Well, he was given plenty of advice from behind. But
he was.
plenty of advice there coming from the Beeston supporters.
I always think hockey's not a sport where you find people diving for things like you would see possibly in other sports. So.
Big result there for the University of Birmingham in the Investec Women's League. The University of Birmingham 1, Surbiton 0. We had a look at that league table earlier, and the University of Birmingham were in the wrong end of the table, and Surbiton very much at the business end. That's a real turn-up. Great result for the University of Birmingham, getting the better of Surbiton.
The fight factor in this part of the late part of the season.
Yes.
Good position here for Beeston. A bit more movement maybe from the forwards.
Results like that make me glad that A, I'm not a betting man, and B, hockey hasn't been a betting game.
Yes.
I lost not just my shirt, but my entire wardrobe, which numbers about 3 shirts on that one.
Again, East Grinstead gone very deep. There's no pressure coming forwards at the moment, so they're and a corner awarded. Interesting.
East Grinstead not enjoying the decision, and the umpire will talk to one player but not a group of them. See if we can select the offence here, Steve. I must say I didn't see it on the first.
Neither did I. Something deliberate from the defender, but we can't quite see from here. So,
well, it could be an expensive one to concede if this one can go in for Beeston. Looking for their 3rd equaliser in the game. Last week they drew 3-3, having led on 3 occasions.
Well, the last 5 minutes, East Grinstead have dropped very deep to make sure that there's no chance of a counter-attack type of goal, but of course that does lay you open to the risk of giving away short corners, and Beeston will have been trying to get that. I'm not quite sure they quite planned that one, but it certainly gives them an opportunity here.
Heibel there with his legs akimbo. Dixon to his right. Heibel number 12, Dixon number 14. East Grinstead encouraged back behind the goal line, ready to defend. Heibel again takes it on.
Well,
I think with a deflection, and it was a player down at the top of the circle, but the goal is going to stand.
Yes.
And Beeston have got out of jail again. Did this one take a big deflection, Steve? Or
I think it did take a deflection. I'm just trying to see how the player got injured, whether it came off. Oh, I think it was a follow through with the stick that's hit the player after the ball had gone.
Certainly a painful one there for the player writhing down there on the deck.
Who'd run out one at corners?
Well, nobody in this commentary box, that's for sure. So it's Dan Faulkner who bore the brunt of that. I think that goal may have been ruled out.
I think it has, yeah. Just looking at what's...
It has been chucked off.
Yes, it has, yeah.
Well, the last thing we saw was Beeston retreating to the halfway line, so... not quite sure what the umpire has blown that for. So, we're back in...
Beeston looking for another corner.
Or an open play goal.
Yes.
Take away the uncertainty of it all. Well, it was quite clear. Whatever the decision was, it was made up by the umpire. I don't mean made up. It was blown by the umpire without consultation with his colleague.
Well, the only thing I can think there is that they thought that the first flick was too high and has deflected off the player's leg into the goal, but.
Yes, depends where it hit him and how close he was. Yes, I suspect that is the issue. They certainly left Dan Faulkner writhing around on the floor, and the ball in the back of the net, but it's been chalked off. And Beeston 2, East Grinstead 3 is how it still stands, with a little more than a quarter of an hour to go now.
I think so many moments, goals particularly disputed nowadays. There's often these conversations between umpires.
A little bit of uncertainty there from Paddy Smith, who's normally uncompromising in such situations. But you said, Steve, that EG are sitting deeper and deeper, and they are inviting Beeston onto them.
Elliot Heibel did get on the end of that cross then. He's a little bit wide of the left of keeper's right post. Always difficult in this scenario, certainly for East Grinstead. Do you just defend and try to see this through, or do you play like you have been playing in the way that's got you to the lead in the first place and look for an opportunity to take a fourth goal? But Beeston have got a lot of pressure on them at the moment.
Yes, this is the period of the play that East Grinstead have got to withstand. They will have other moments of their own. We'll play her down, so umpire, I think, has decided that we can't play any longer. Safety of the players must always be the umpire's priority.
Not quite like in rugby where the game goes on around the injured player.
No, well, that to me, that's an accident waiting to happen.
Yes.
Particularly when they bring the blood wagons on.
Yes.
I'm surprised they don't bring an ice cream cart on at the same time. So we'll restart with a bully. Conducted in the usual gentlemanly fashion. Now Beeston need a big rally here to bring the curtain down on this double header. A double header that, as things stand, are going to produce the princely total of 0 points for the home team here. So
yes, a bit to do in the last what have we got, 13 minutes or so.
Yep, just under 13 14 minutes remaining. Yep, we can't rely necessarily on our on-screen clock because it's not synchronized with the technical table. This is good from Beeston. Ball played in.
Yes, you wonder about that. Richard Lawrence has closed that defender very quickly. Did he really have a chance of getting the ball? He might well have left him to just see if he made a mistake himself, I think. Stepped off a little.
Yeah. Yes, you need to play smart now. Every time East Grinstead win a free hit or a sideline ball, we can expect them to absorb just a few more precious seconds. Beeston smartly in there though, and they can launch an attack from here. Straight down the middle they go. Keeper comes and kicks clear. Picks out a teammate, a real bonus. Off the Beeston foot, will play allowed to go on. Good umpiring. This is Rob Cope. Sees the ball out and over the sideline. Salmon Faulkner, 2 goals for him already today.
And I think East Grinstead have defended well, particularly in the last 10 or 15 minutes. They've soaked up quite a lot of pressure.
Angle all wrong for that ball into the circle, careering into the sideboards and bouncing away.
Again, as you say, Nick, precious moments drifting away here. Beeston could do with a little bit more possession at this stage. Keep that little run of pressure that they had going for a bit longer. But East Grinstead have soaked it well, and they've now got a bit of play themselves, so dangerous times for Beeston, I think.
So about 11 minutes to go. Ball fired across to Kyle Marshall on this left-hand side. Nicely weighted pass down towards the baseline, but forced very wide. Richard Lawrence, with that very languid running style of his, just trying to ghost his way past a couple of challenges.
Nicely covered by East Grinstead. He beat the first player, but the second player stepped in. Took that away from him.
Defensively, East Grinstead look a very well set up side indeed. Slightly less convinced about their attacking potential with this current lineup, but happy to be proved wrong on that.
Well, interestingly, with Brooklands losing to Exeter, if Hampstead were to beat Holcombe, this would really separate the top 4, I think, because it'll take East Grinstead up to 23 points. Beeston on 25, and depending on what happens in the Holcombe game.
Yes. Yes, Holcombe at the moment are on 19 points, with whatever points they can glean from this weekend to be added to that. East Grinstead, as things stand at the moment, gone to 23, 2 behind Beeston on 25.
Beeston are going to need a bit of a Surbiton-like comeback here, I think, if they're going to get points out of this.
Well, I think if we offered Beeston a draw now, Steve, they would happily take it.
Yes.
And it's still very much theirs to be had, but they've just got to find a little bit of composure in their opponent's circle. It'll possibly come via a penalty corner.
Yes.
East Grinstead setting their stall out to be very compact as a defensive unit. And they'll be desperate to eliminate mistakes. Umpire, I thought they were going to blow for a corner there.
It looked like they'd won a corner, but of course he allowed the shot.
Yeah, it's always a difficult call where the advantage actually lies.
Just what you want to see in this sort of a situation. Beeston fighting hard to get back into this, not accepting the fact that they're behind.
Well, it could be a siege-like situation in the closing minutes here with Beeston coming forward and East Grinstead hanging on.
Now that, yes, I was going to say that was a quick snapshot from Chris Proctor. He did have space on his reverse side if he wanted to turn, but he took the shot, which is fine, and he's won the corner. So
it's an opportunity here for the Bees to get back on level terms. They thought they'd done that a few minutes ago, but the goal was chalked off. A stop going in with a challenge there. It's the penalty corner. Adam Dixon on the far side of that huddle. Now, he's not been involved himself in the penalty corners so far. And frankly, with Highball's form, you can understand why not. But
it's Richard Lawrence there this time, so I don't think Elliot Highball's on at the moment. So whether there's a cunning plan here to do something different with Adam,
yes,
I don't know.
Yes, sorry, I've not spotted that Elliot wasn't on the park. But so we shall soon know. Out it comes. It's come for Dixon. Brings out
Good
a
save.
very good save there from Paddy Smith. Oh, Dixon's so close there. That was
another corner.
Oh, this is much better from Beeston. This is the grandson finish their coach's coaching team would have been wanting to see. Let's look at the last corner again.
Good injection, going the long way to the furthest castle. And Adam coming back across the goalkeeper, but Patrick Smith switched on to that. And that's come up off the high cliff stick for the next corner. It's all on the injection, Nick, the pace of the injection.
It certainly is. And it always has been. Much underestimated skill. Out it comes. Dixon takes it on again. This time he goes for the soft hands one, I think, looking for a little deflection. It's led to another penalty corner. Well, the pressure's mounting.
I've been watching some of the slick German corners in the Pro League. One or two of those that where they move the ball to the left behind the back and then back to the injector. Very slick.
I think at this stage in the game, keeping it simple has got to be the best tactic.
So.
The showboating can wait for another day. Dixon again. He was looking for something. He's won another corner. Daniel Faulkner and his big brother ganging up on the umpire. Paddy Smith there for good measure. So goalkeepers always have a view.
Yes, they do.
All smiles, but the umpire's rule is law, and that's how it should be. So the corners stacking up here.
My bet here is he'll go for Richard Lawrence, I think. There we go.
Blocked and cleared, is it? No, it's another corner.
The languid style of Richard Lawrence again. He didn't seem to be very speedy onto that, but
no, it was very slow and deliberate.
He has a very accurate low flick from corners if everything's working well for him, and we could do one of those now. But that was number one runner was out well.
Well, he has long levers, of course, doesn't he, Lawrence? But he's Grinstead living on the edge of the game here. Leading by one. Clock ticks away. Long corner this time. It's not enough for Beeston. They need more. think they need to decide what their A corner is going to be, and if they haven't got the right person on the pitch, I would suggest they need to get Elliot Hybel back on.
Yes.
For his closing, well, around about 3 minutes, we reckon now.
So many things for the coach to think about. Has he got his right personnel on at the right time? Well, bearing in mind there was a barrage of 4 corners there, I think the answer's no.
Yes, it's strange how often that happens as well. Always a risk taking off your penalty corner expert, although Beeston are blessed with a couple of options in that department.
Good position. Ooh,
oh my goodness, that was
very close.
Well, is
nice
that
build
going to
up.
be an indicator that today is not going to be Beeston's day, I wonder. That was very close. East Grinstead just happy to kill a few more seconds here as they edge closer and closer to getting themselves over the line that sees them picking up 3 points. That is definitely the best way out of defence, a huge aerial.
Well, this needs to be accelerated back to the other end quite quickly now. There's not much time to spend on the build-up.
Dixon. Instant pass forward.
Cool. I think that might have hit a foot.
That's given us a long corner. Dixon again sets it up. Another long corner. Both sides know how little time there is left.
Get a set forwards here. Will be fired in at some point.
Will there be one more chance for the Bees? Fired in again. East Grinstead closing the door.
I think that might be it, actually, looking at the clock.
East Grinstead running the ball into their opponent's half of the field. They'll be happy to keep it here for as long as they possibly can. Beeston win it back. It's got to go route 1. Here they come. Progress is halted.
Oh!
Dixon rattles it off his opponent's foot. Looks to take it quickly. Strikes it firmly into the circle. Long corner, says the umpire. Dixon. Instant pass out to this left-hand side.
Angle's very wrong there.
Very wrong. Yeah, and that's what happens when you hurry things.
Yeah. And there we go.
That might be enough. That is enough. And Beeston have been beaten here on their home turf by East Grinstead, who pick up 3 vital points and squeeze up that into that top 4 position just a little bit more cosily to Beeston than they were before. So an excellent game in many regards, not perhaps for the purist, but in terms of the entertainment value. Steve, a fair result, you think?
Yes, I do think it is, actually, because I think the East Grinstead play in the early phase of the game was very good. They got off to a good start. Their passing quality was good, and they constantly attacked along the baseline from the left-hand side, led to a lot of opportunities, and of course they're always ahead. So I think in a way that's probably a fair result under those circumstances.
So in the final analysis, it was Ross Stott's goal that separated the two sides after Simon Faulkner had knocked a couple of penalty corners in, and Elliot Hybel had responded in kind, and Nick Park for Beeston. So it's finished here, Beeston 2, Edgerton 3. Thanks for your company today. The next Beeston home game will be on the 10th of March when Holcombe will be the visitors here. So we look forward to your company again for that one. But from Steve Musson and myself, Nick Irvine, goodbye from the Nottingham Hockey Centre for another day. Stott, Ross Stott, Scottish international. Snapshot came in. That, I think that was the goalkeeper's save.
I think it was.
Terrific save if it was. Well, it's all East Grinstead at the moment.
It is.
And Beeston need to dig in here.
It's led to the first short corner. Yeah, Simon Faulkner's flicking is very powerful. Often low, but powerful.
And Hodgman got a glove on it, but can't keep it out. And East Grinstead have the lead at their possession in the game to Hibble's right. It's Hibble who takes it on.
Very good corner.
And it's
very good corner.
Hibble who scores. Well, what a response that is from the home boys here. There's the space again.
Yes, they've worked that very nicely.
They have worked it well. The ball played all the way down to the baseline, and then the ball back into the circle found side. It was round about just above knee height, would you have said?
I think so, yeah. It was definitely rising, and
it
Simon...
the roof of the net by the time it finished, but a big deflection off Hodgman. Faulkner again.
He's done it low and hard into the corner, and that's more of a trait of his corner flicking.
That is his trademark, isn't it? But
so just going back to that ball transfer speed, I think we'd mentioned it a second or two before that corner was awarded, and it was the pace of the passing that I think... Ooh.
Oh, what!
Well, there we go. What a response again!
Unbelievable stuff. Well, it was. I think initially it was a fun.
Seven X playing Wimbledon today as well.
Well, that's a massive game. Oh, it's forced over the line, and East Grinstead have got the lead again. Beeston are complaining. And Bowden losing out now.
Tricky aerial to deal with there, but that was...
he did well, didn't he?
Did well. Again, East Grinstead have gone very deep. There's no pressure coming forwards at the moment, so they're... And a corner awarded, interesting.
Ready to defend. Hybel again, takes it on.
Well,
and it's I think a deflection, and it was a player down at the top of the circle, but the goal cream card on at the same time. So a restart with a bully. Conducted in the usual gentlemanly fashion.
Minutes or so.
Yep, just under 13, 14 minutes remaining, yep. We can't rely necessarily on our on-screen clock because it's not synchronised with the technical table. This is good from Beeston. Ball play.
Accepting the fact that they're behind.
Well, it could be a siege-like situation in the closing minutes here with Beeston coming forward and East Grinstead hanging on.
Now that, yes, I was going to say that was a quick snap.